Hello and welcome to the ninth annual Aspen Ideas Festival. Thank you very much, Kitty Boone and your staff. Where's Kitty? There are a whole lot of cool new things happening. I just came from the gallery in Pepka building in which there is online and digital education. We all talk about it, but you can actually play with it. And so I was playing with the core curricula. I know Linda Resnick has helped design some of the stuff for our core curricula, but also amplify all the technology things. Right after this, I think the Buckminster Fuller Dome is turning into a planetarium. Many of you didn't know we had a Buckminster Fuller Dome, but Bucky Fuller actually spent a lot of time at the Aspen Institute in the 60s, created the dome. Amy Marjoram helped rescue it, and it's now pretty much, if you just walk straight out, you will see it. But the Bucky Dome is an example of a really big idea and bringing ideas together. So I'm glad that has gotten resurrected. In introducing Ideas Festival each year, I try to talk about an idea that I might have been wrestling with over the previous year. After all, it is an Ideas Festival. And the one that has really bothered me and I've been focusing on is an idea that people have been wrestling with for the past 10 or 15 years, really, but it's called the big sort. It's a fact that in America, as Michael Sandel said a couple years ago when he was here, we're going through a skyboxing phenomenon. It used to be that people of different backgrounds, different interests, different beliefs, all tended to mix and mingle a lot, find common ground, whether it was in going to the same public schools, serving in our national service together. But in the past decade or so, we've had a sorting out where people tend to hang around with people of their own beliefs, their own backgrounds, their own philosophies, whether it's in the blogosphere or on the talk radio dial. There tends to be a cul-de-sacing. We all get into an echo chamber and just hear people like ourselves. Benjamin Franklin taught us that ideas come when people of different backgrounds and different beliefs tend to get together. They tend to see things. And that is what, sorry about that, that's what we're trying to do. This was the reminder to turn your cell phones off. So everybody pull out your cell phone now and turn it to off. What Franklin taught us was that ideas come when people congregate, when people get together, when people bounce things off of one another. I think it's true of art as well. I mean, if you look at why jazz happened, it's because everybody from returning veterans from the Spanish-American War a century ago met up with Creoles and freed slaves and people from the Sanctified Church and people who knew spirituals, Creole orchestras, uptown. And all of that mixing and mingling of people of different backgrounds and different ways of thinking sort of added to the creativity. As I see us losing that some in our society, where the places that we find common ground are disappearing, where people aren't all going into national service, they don't all go to, the local high school, I've thought of us trying to figure out ways that we can kick that up a bit. I mean, that's what Ideas Festival is all about. It's about people with different ways of thinking, different beliefs, looking to your left, looking to your right, and seeing if we can find common ground. We also try to bring, people from different backgrounds, different thoughts. I want to ask the Bezos scholars, for example, maybe you all would stand up, Jackie and Mike. Bezos, I always bring the Bezos scholars to the Aspen Institute from different places. Thank you. And so a few of the ideas coming out of last year's Ideas Festival and wrestling with this notion of the big sort are going to be the focus, I hope, of the Institute over the next couple of years, one of which, as you probably heard some of you, Stan McChrystal and others, we've started the notion of national service being both an opportunity and an expectation for every kid in America. In other words, join a corps for a year, whether it's military or civilian, whether it's a conservation corps or the Marine Corps, but get out of your zip code, out of your comfort zone, and spend a year in a service corps, just like people of my parents' generation did. That's where you meet people of different backgrounds, where you get exposed to different ideas. So over the next year, since General McChrystal mentioned the idea or pushed the idea of national service at Ideas Festival, we are going to create a program that tries to start National Service Corps. We're also doing something later this summer called the Action Forum, which is like an ideas forum, but we're going to take the ideas and have people from around the world who are part of our Young Leaders program and say, okay, turn thought into action. And also, you know, over the past 10 years, we've built up the Aspen Institute in a variety of ways. The focus for the next few years, led by, I saw Margot Pritzker, Amy Marjoram, and others, is simply on scholars and scholarships, to make sure all of our programs and all the different types of programs we intersect with, we can bring people on scholarships or as scholars, people who come with different interests and different backgrounds, and be part not just of Ideas Festival, but of Action Forum, of our national service thing, of all of our policy programs. When I was in college, there was a minister we had, some of you may have met him before he died because he used to come to Ideas Festival, Peter Gomes. And he gave a wonderful sermon once about the problem when you go to college or in your place like Aspen is that you learn exclusivity. You say, okay, I got to admit it. It's an exclusive place. I got to come here. It's kind of exclusive. I'm on a panel. This is exclusive. He said, what we forgot to tell you is that it's not all about exclusivity. It's about inclusivity. It's not about seeing how much you can be part of something exclusive, but how many people you can bring along and how many people you can include. When Benjamin Franklin was at the Constitutional Convention, they were tearing themselves apart. It really had been a time almost as bad as the U.S. Senate and House today. They were tearing themselves apart on the big state, little state issue and everything else. And Franklin said something quite interesting. He said, the older I get, and he was like 81, twice as old as the average age in that room in Independence Hall. He said, the older I get, something really surprising happens to me. I realize that I'm fallible at times. I realize I've been wrong. And what I do is I look to my left, I look to my right, I look at the people around me, and I think they may be right about their beliefs and ideas. Maybe I should listen to them. Maybe I should find common ground. That is the notion of what we try to do both here for the past 60 years at the Institute, but I hope we'll each do this week and maybe in the year to come, which is look to the person to the left, person to the right, and say, maybe I should listen to their idea. Maybe we shouldn't all sort ourselves out based on the beliefs we came in with. And secondly, now that I've listened to their idea, let me see where we can find common ground. Because ideas come from listening to the people on both sides of you, and ideas are put into action when we find that common ground. So that to me is what I hope we do this week. Look around you, listen to the person next to you, find the common ground, and put thought into action. Thank you very much, and let me introduce my partner, David Bradley.